Welcome to the Peak Performance Podcast, your guide to optimizing your life one health tip at a time. This podcast is designed to entertain and inform, not to provide medical or health advice. Always consult your doctor when it comes to your personal health or before you make any changes to your diet, exercise, or lifestyle.
Welcome to the Peak Performance Podcast with Dr. K and our nurse Liz. She does all of our aesthetics procedures. You guys might know this, Coach Kyle is missing again. He is scared of aesthetics procedures and refused to join this episode. So we just finished one on face and breast lifts. Now we're going to talk about hair and then sexual health.
Okay. So I guess one of the aesthetic procedures we offer is hair restoration.
Yep.
So we get patients in that either have hair loss or hair thinning. Mm-hmm. We also get people that just want to prevent hair loss. Maybe it's hereditary and they're looking at what they can do to negate that.
Yeah. So let's define hair loss. A regular healthy hair follicle will produce 3 hairs per follicle. Thinning is defined as 1 to 2 hairs per follicle, and then with complete loss being 0. So if you are a complete loss, we can't help you. If the follicle has completely turned off, it is very unlikely that regenerative therapies will save your hair. If you're thinning, that's the time to call us. I just want to lead with that.
Yeah, sooner rather than later is always better.
Yep. So how do we do them?
How do we do the hair restoration procedure? So obviously first we do an assessment. We see what areas of the scalp are affected. If it's the whole head, partial head, our basic assessment. Mm-hmm. And then from there we utilize PRP, plasma-rich protein, and we do direct injections on the scalp. So think like grid-like pattern. We just do across the scalp, up, down, and make sure you know where you're at, and you're doing multiple injections of the PRP directly to the scalp.
Yep. And so do you know why we don't do microneedling? You might be familiar with microneedling from past jobs, but do you know why I don't like microneedling?
No.
No one has an exact answer for why hair thinning happens, right? There's genetics, there's hormones, there's something else random. But one of the current theories out there is that as you age, the fascia on the top of your head starts to tighten and constrict blood vessel growth. And so what happens is if you do just microneedling, I don't think that you get enough disruption of that fascia to restore blood flow to the scalp. Whereas when you do direct injections with a slightly thicker needle and you're purposeful with the wheels that you produce, you're actually breaking up that fascia, promoting more blood flow.
That makes sense. How do you feel about microneedling around the hairline versus on top of the scalp?
For what reason?
For hair restoration or just around the hairline?
So I would do direct injections around the hairline. Again, same principle. Could you do microneedling? Yes, but I've always found that direct injections lead to better results.
Cool.
So that's hair. And again, you can use PRP, you can use stem cells, you can use V cells. Product choice definitely determines how much regrowth you get, how quickly and how long it lasts. Because again, it's artificial. We will restore your hair to some degree, but if you don't upkeep it and just do one treatment and you're done, it will go away eventually.
Right, so you have to maintain it just like anything else.
Yep. The other thing we can talk about is sexual health. So these are branded terms. I'm going to mention them because this is an educational platform, but there's the P-shot and the O-shot. The P-shot is for men, the O-shot is for women. But the idea, what we call it at the Longevity Center, is male sexual health and female sexual health.
And are you seeing that there are a lot of patients interested in those procedures?
I think that especially for the guys are definitely more open to the procedures than the girls are, but the ones that know about it do really seem to be interested in it.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of similar to like the breast lift, right? Like people just don't know that it exists. Yep. And then if they learn that something like that does exist and it could potentially help and it's safe and natural, there would be way more interest. So I think as people learn about those options, maybe they'll start to come more and more for those.
Yep. So do you want to explain what the female sexual health one is for?
Yeah. So an O-shot or female sexual health procedure is really for women that are looking to improve sexual health, either drive, libido, things of that nature. Also anything physiologically that they may have going on, it can help those types of symptoms as well. Yeah, I mean, from the patients that we've seen pretty good results with that, and they're happy with the overall outcomes.
Yeah, what I've learned it helps with is it does help with dryness, so it improves lubrication, also increases sensation or stimulation, which are 2 big things that as women age and hormone concentrations decline, those things tend to decline along with it.
Yeah, those physiological symptoms that they just haven't been able to address. They've seen results with that.
And then for men, the male sexual health, it's direct injections. What we've learned guys can expect is improved erections increased sensation, longer lasting erections. There are studies out there that show that girth and length do slightly increase, but that's never one that we promise because it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, and everybody's different. Everybody's going to have different results. And then again, I'm sure you have to tell them, like, you have to keep up with it, right? Same thing as the hair restoration. It is something that you have to maintain and keep up with over time.
They're all a series of treatments. That's when you get the best results. And yeah, you have to do maintenance every year as well.
So what's interesting is we do so many different things. And people want their hormones to be optimized, but they don't want to lose their hair, but they also want sexual health. And so I think what you do best is finding the balance of doing all of those things so that they can have a well-rounded treatment plan and still have optimized hormones, still have good sexual health, and then not lose all their hair. So like a big thing, I think, is finding the balance. And I think you're good at that with our patients.
Yeah. Absolutely, because you can make one thing better, but then if they start to go bald because you're fixing their hormones, no one's going to be happy. So you have to find that proper balance.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us at the Peak Performance as we discussed hair restoration, male and female sexual health. I'm Dr. K.
And I'm Liz.
We'll see you guys next time.
Welcome to the Peak Performance Podcast, your guide to optimizing your life one health tip at a time. This podcast is designed to entertain and inform, not to provide medical or health advice. Always consult your doctor when it comes to your personal health or before you make any changes to your diet, exercise, or lifestyle.